So I can pretty much sum this movie up in one word, and that's disappointing. I have not learnt my lesson with horror movies. I really need to just go in there thinking they're going to be shit automatically, because 9 out of 10 times a horror movie isn't good. It's not terrible, but it's just mid as hell. And this movie was exactly the same. It's just mid as fuck. So The Exorcist being one of the most popular horror movie, if not the most popular horror movie of all time, it was literally the first movie of its kind. This scared the fuck out of a generation. But this movie here, it didn't even get me scared, didn't even get me worried for the characters. It was just so boring. So for the first hour of this film, it literally reminded me of a film like Searching, where that guy is looking for his missing daughter, or The Dry, where Eric Bana's looking for a missing person. It's literally like, I'm trying to find my daughter, I'm trying to find my son, and I'm encountering all these roadblocks to get there. That's what this film was. There was no horror aspect for the first hour, so it was just boring as all hell. Yeah, the acting was great, I'm not going to fault that. All the performances were great, but in terms of story, nothing happened for that first hour. Then finally, the kids start to turn into some demon action, and you don't actually see how this happened. You see it for a split second, but no indication of what spirits entered them, how they opened this realm. It's just there. And the change from innocent child to absolute demon action happens pretty much in an instant. One of the girls starts with just flickering a light, and the very next day she turns into a fucking zombie. It's just, the storytelling wasn't there. The second act was extremely rushed, because that first act lasted a whole hour where nothing happened. So them actually getting possessed is very rushed. And in terms of the actual Exorcist scene, finally something this movie has going for it. This was a great exorcism scene. It went for about 20-25 minutes, and it didn't go as I expected it to go. There was a lot of twists in there. Shit I did not expect. Like, a certain character makes his heroic entrance and he gets snapped the fuck up. Like, I did not expect any of this to go the way it did. Especially with who comes out of it alive and who comes out of it dead. I did not expect that in the slightest. So that was great. But there were some aspects in it that took me out of it. Like, exorcism for a lot of people is far-fetched as it is. I guess it's if you believe in that sort of thing. I mean, I do, but not to that extent. I don't think someone can get that full of demon action where they're literally a fucking zombie, their skin's all mangled. I don't think that happens. I've never seen it. I never fucking want to. I hope that doesn't happen. But I definitely believe in the spiritual. So if you believe in this, or if you don't believe in this, you're already going to be looking at it in a certain way. But in this exorcism, there's like, she's not a priest, she's like one of those people that is one with the earth and all this stuff. And like this steam starts coming out of the kids, and she's saying it's their internal steam, like they're trying to get rid of the bad energy or whatever. And she literally does a Harry Potter trick, fucking magic trick, and she spits into the fire, and the fire like goes across the whole room and like dissipates the smoke, and it gets sucked back into the chimney and back out of the house. And I was like, okay, that was just fucking stupid and just took me out of the scene completely. But they quickly saved it with another twist that's in this exorcism scene. Again, I did not expect it to go the way it did. What really made it was the acting of these kids. They looked creepy as fuck, and the way they were moving and fucking sounding, it was fucking just terrible. Although at times you could clearly tell that their voices were dubbed. It wasn't actually them screaming, it was adults, and they were adding the audio in after, and I could really tell. Like, sometimes I couldn't, but most of the time I was like, yeah, that's not them talking. But the actual performances were great. I'm not going to fault that. Everybody's acting was good. And that's another thing. They really tried with fan service in this one. I'm not a huge fan of the first film. I think I've seen it once or twice. But they really go for nostalgia bait here. The main character and her daughter from the first film, who I've heard is completely fucked up after filming that film, but she's still in this one. Oh, that might be a slight spoiler, but she's in it for about 30 seconds. But they bring back the mum from the first film, and they do her wrong. She's just in there to get fucked up. Like, they did her wrong. There's no reason for her to be in that film apart from pure nostalgia bait. So if that resonated with people that are massive fans of the film, then fair enough, but for me, I didn't really care. Look, this is basically just another horror film that's just mid. Again, I gotta go in with low expectations because I really had super high expectations for this. The trailers look creepy as fuck. Like, those two kids, they look demonic as hell in that trailer. I really just thought it was gonna be super scary, super creepy, like the fucking Exorcism was gonna be scary as hell, which it was. But I thought, you know, throughout the whole movie, these kids are going to terrorize their families, just make it impossible to live, and none of that. It was just, I'm searching for my kid, they quickly turn, let's do the exorcism. And it was just so boring throughout. I didn't get scared at all. The last scene, yeah, was creepy. The exorcism was good. The movie relied on nostalgia bait. I didn't really have a good time with this. I didn't really hate it, but I didn't love it. I didn't really like it. So this is just a solid 5 out of 10, straight in the middle. So mid is basically the term I'll use. That was this film. It was mid. Another horror film, another disappointing horror film. Next up is Expendables 4. I'm hoping that's going to be fucking amazing, but I haven't heard good things. So thanks always for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.